Hello, I will be talking about the development of MINT as I was asked to give an example of development within the Europeana group of projects, and I am going to highlight how its development path and the different approaches that we have taken has been affected mainly by users, by aggregators, since it's a tool that, that is offered to them, and Europeana itself. So, Aggregators is one of the organizations that have been introduced a lot lately. It was something that was also reinforced by Europeana a lot. And it is actually one of the benefits for its specific cultural heritage domain that came out of Europeana. Aggregators existed before, but now they are more active and with a clear schedule and strategy when they work. So also there's a great diversity between them. Aggregators are really active organizations. You can imagine that most of them last between 2 and 3 years, and they quickly get funding, set up shop, and start training their providers, providing tools, reinforcing best practices in order to gather data within a domain, but also one of their main tasks is to deliver data to Europeana as well. So, as you can imagine, the needs and strategies of aggregators vary a lot according to the providers, how many participate, if they are in the same domain, what technological expertise or existing infrastructure there is in a specific domain. We have long ongoing aggregators for the main communities, but we also see new ones appear, for example, for performing arts or more specific domains like contemporary art. So the needs and strategies really vary from their constitution and also from their scope and the specific duration. We have aggregators that also provide portals, so they have their own ways of promoting the content. Some just go on for a couple of years just to aggregate content and send it to Europeana and then disappear. And also there's a lot of work within aggregators regarding data and knowledge modeling around the specific field of interest. You see lots of experts participating and a lot of evolutions that concern modeling of data and knowledge, specifically to the domain of the aggregator. Also, aggregators all come with some technological infrastructure, maybe a group of technological partners, so there is always the need for integration between different systems, backend, portal, existing repositories from previous version of previous aggregations. And of course, there is always needs for delivery to Europeana, to the new portal, or to some third-party institution. And finally, aggregators also are active a lot in networking within their domain and also in a cross-domain approach, train people, attract more affiliate partners. And as a result, each aggregator is like Europeana itself. It is an organization that has specific needs and strategies, and usually in a tight schedule. So MINT as a tool of aggregators, just to give an overview to those that are not familiar, it just implements and supports the workflows that are set in place by aggregators, and mainly this definition is from the Europeana Aggregators Handbook, a bit of a rephrase, but the main task is to gather providers' metadata, give them a way to visualize things, to visualize the mappings and implement them, which in the case of MINT is done through a visual editor, and then remediate or host the metadata themselves or do both in many cases. And of course, throughout the life of an aggregator, we see that there is a lot of evolution in data modeling And MINT also acts as a tool to support this evolution and to quickly adopt it. So in practice, MINT is used to deliver to Europeana for several aggregators, Athena from museums, EU Screen for audiovisual archive, Judaica Europeana that deals with Jewish cultural heritage in Europe, Contemporary Art, DCA, and Link Heritage, which is again focused on museum community, but not alone. Most of these aggregators are what we call dark ones. They do not have portals, but still some of them also include a front end in their strategy. Apart from the whole aggregation part that ends up to Europeana, as I said, there are other strategies and needs within aggregators, and some examples are the Carrare project, where there is a third-party repository from a partner of the project that deals with semantic enrichment and linking. So as a result, our system is feeding this repository instead of publishing the data itself. So there has been a need for shared development with DCU from Athens, Greece. Then the ECLAP platform, that is the aggregator for performing arts. It is a content delivery platform, so there is the content itself is uploaded there. Again, with a different workflow and approach, where again we had a year of shared development in order to connect the tools and put in place a common infrastructure for the specific aggregation. And finally, the first one, EU Screen, which again has a front end for the content itself with several other functionalities that is a lot closely connected with our infrastructure, which also serves some parts of the portal, like the search engine. Then, behind aggregators, there are users themselves, and MINT is really about this. Always our approach when we were developing and introducing it is that it is meant for the actual users, the actual members of the aggregators, so the providers themselves or the experts that come with them or technical personnel, which is again something that you cannot really define. Depending on the funding of each aggregation project and on the participants, you may have someone that is with an IT background but does not know the content, or vice versa. And in the end, this group of people is growing through the deployment of MINT in several aggregations, and we have some 300 cultural heritage organizations and around 500 users. So what MINT means to them and this whole procedure was that it is another step in their tasks, so they had to annotate content to maybe store it and put it online. Now they actually have to aggregate it, and this usually means connect it to a data model, either the domain one or Europeana's in the general case. And these users have also helped a lot to direct the development of MINT in order to incorporate the specific features that they were requiring. And of course, they are also still driving the development of MINT, as we see that newer tasks are also introduced, like cleaning and linking and validating. So again, there is an extra task for those people, the content holders, providers, or scholars or experts. And this is what MINT tries to offer, tools for them to perform the newer tasks that have appeared in the Europeana age, and of course, in general, in the new era of the web. And then finally, of course, and one of the main driving forces behind our approach was Europeana itself, since, of course, it offers services to aggregators and users, and there are several interfaces to take advantage of those services within an aggregation project. Also, Europeana has a development plan of its own that follows specific steps and with specific goals that usually, most of the times, aggregators share or want to include in their plan as well. There is also this project cluster that we all know of with different schedules and different people and different tasks that keep producing new tools that are being adopted by Europeana or shared with other projects. So there's always the need to try to interface with what is being offered within the Europeana cluster. Of course, one of the major for development, at least, tasks is the data modeling itself. So the whole discussion and transition from ESC, all versions of ESG, and now the new Europeana data model, of course, affects how you develop your services and what you should offer to aggregators. And finally, there is the operation, as you saw throughout the projects that we are serving and as a repository for Europeana to harvest, you have to collaborate with the Europeana Ingestion Office, and luckily we had great collaboration so far to be able to support their infrastructure and for them to support our publication modules in order for the content to be ingested in Europeana in due time and as it was expected. So Europeana and our team usually have common goals, and one of the good things is that we both try to use open standards. And maybe it's not an exact example of open source development, but there is a lot of openness as there are many technical group meetings, many meetings like this one, a lot of Europeana project cluster meetings to exchange tools, ideas, and especially requirements. As was mentioned, the Rhine and Danube requirements for Europeana was something that brought many projects and different development teams together. And there is the occasional shared developing for prototyping data modeling or for evaluating the tools that exist in both institutions. So to mention a bit how we work, because within our organization, since we are a university, it looks more like an open development process. We have a core team that is constituted by researchers and more experienced engineers. And we have smaller teams from postgraduate students, PhD candidates, and the rest that deal with knowledge modeling and use MINT as a basis to set up their experiments and then create some smaller applications that may be of interest to the domain, but most of the times it is research simulations. So in that way, we have a main development path, and we have some extra research toys coming out from those teams. And of course, for the different aggregators and the needs and strategies that they have, we also have some customization tasks or longer development paths for them. There is, of course, the constant need for training and support, and also the need of aggregators to disseminate and promote what they are doing, their research throughout. And to close, apart from the aggregator parts, MINT in the wild, so outside aggregations for Europeana, it has been used widely for promoting and adopting new data models. It is used by the SciDoc working group for the LIDO model, which is the aggregation standard for museums. We have cooperated with Europeana for prototyping the first versions of the Europeana data model. It is used by the FISH forum in the UK, the Carrare version of MINT. It is used for the MIDA standard. The EBU is using it for EBU core. We are happy that we had submitted our proposal to the Digital Public Library of America, and recently it was announced that it was well received, so we can also seek ways of collaborating there. The EU Screen-Linked Open Data Pilot is another byproduct of MINT and another way of publishing data aside from Europeana and portals. And finally, MINT Athena is the first free software release of our tool. which is actually they released the version that was used for the Athena project. And again, from specific teams, mainly from the Athena consortium, we have an ongoing collaboration, as they have already tried to set it up either on a national level or to test within an organization and to evaluate aggregation and other needs. So thank you for your attention. Sorry for...